How's everyone? Did you enjoy your Thanksgiving? Well, happy Thanksgiving. Today, I'm going to welcome you to our Sunday school class number 4 lesson, or lesson number 4. And today's lesson is called Jacob and Esau. And now I want you to take out of your packet the last lesson, which is number 4, Jacob and Esau. But before we begin, 2 things I want to remind you and or tell you and your parents. So if your parents aren't with you right now, just call them or let them know what I'm just going to say to you. This is our last lesson in the packet. So you will be receiving a new packet with new lessons after the week of December 12th. Why so long? Well, the thing is that relates to my second announcement. My second announcement is that we are not going to be having Sunday school December 5th, nor the 12th, nor December 12th. Why? Because Pastor Ida is going on vacation. And she leaves this coming Tuesday. By the time, on Tuesday. So, you are going to be receiving new lessons during the week of the 12th of December, okay? So, having said that, just remember that. Having said that, then let's start with our lesson. Jacob and Esau. But before getting into the story, I found several animals that, I don't know, I want to show them to you. They have special gifts because everyone has a gift. You have a gift. You have lots of gifts. God gave you lots of gifts, and I have gifts too. So I found these animals online, and I'm going to show images of them to you. This one is a lion. Do you know how lions sound? Have you seen a lion? Have you gone to the zoo and see a lion? Lions roar. But they sound better than me, but okay. This is a lion. And then this one, it's not a cat. It's not a tiger. It is a cheetah. Like the Cheetos? Yeah. You like them? I like them. Cheetah. And cheetahs can run. They're very, 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 very fast. They can run 50 to 80 miles per hour. Just like a car. Just like a car. And this other one, it's an owl. Ooh, ooh. They're nocturnal. They're nocturnal. And owls are considered wise or, intelligent. That's why this owl has glasses and looks like a teacher. They have very, 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 very good night vision. And for the ancient Greeks, that meant that there was so much in them and so much wisdom that they made them a symbol of wisdom. That's why we think that owls aren't that intelligent. They're not more intelligent than the regular bird. They just are considered by the ancient, or were considered by the ancient Greeks many years ago as a symbol of wisdom. And this other one, the last one, it's what? An elephant. Do you know how elephants sound? Well, no, I'm not. I don't know how elephants sound. Like, and they have a huge trunk, but they have a gift too. And the elephant's gift is It's the what? The world's strongest mammal. They can carry up to 14,000 pounds, which is like more or less 130 humans. If you think about it, that's a lot. So everyone has a gift, and you don't have to have all the gifts, but sometimes you can ask help from someone that has a gift different than you. Huh, I just thought about that. That sounds good. But having said this, like the elephant, which is very, very strong, and the owl, the lion, and the cheetah, which one would you use to help you run very fast? That's right, the cheetah. And which one would you use to help you lift a car? You are so right, the elephant. Let's see. Who would you choose? Which one of these animals would you choose to help you look wise? Yep, the owl. And if you want to scare bad guys, which one would you use? That's right, the lion. I don't know, I was just curious. But let's go to the characters of our story. Jacob and Esau. So, do you remember our previous story? We were talking about Isaac and Rebekah. And Isaac and Rebekah now are old. Look at them. They're old. That's Isaac with the beard, and this is Rebekah. Both are quite old. But they had twins. Do you know twins? Do you know some twins? Well, they had twins, 2 boys. Esau and Jacob. Esau and Jacob. And you would say, well, twins are supposed to look alike. Well, not necessarily. These were fraternal twins, and Esau was strong and hairy, and as you can see, Jacob was not. Esau was born first. He was big, he was hairy, as you can see here and in your lesson. He was strong, and he was very good at hunting. Because of this, Esau was their dad's favorite one. Let's put Esau here. So, Jacob. Do you know what the name Jacob means? No? Okay. Jacob means heel grabber. Like your heel grabber. And why would you think, that they called him Jacob, the heel grabber? Well, Jacob was born second. First came Esau, and Jacob came right behind Esau, grabbing him by the heel. That's why they called him Jacob, heel grabber. And if you saw the video, which you're supposed to have seen the video already, which is the video number 1, you can see Jacob holding from Esau's heel. So that's what the name Jacob means. But Jacob, he didn't look like Esau. He was not hairy at all. His skin was very smooth, not like Esau. And he was very clever, very, very street smart, very clever. Jacob Instead of Esau, Esau helped Isaac on the field and doing things that men usually would do. Jacob was not as strong as Esau, so Jacob helped their mom, Rebecca, with the things that happened inside the house. And therefore, he was their mom's favorite one. So Isaac liked better Esau, and he's gonna fail. He's gonna fall. And Jacob, ooh, see, he is the weak one, was Rebecca's favorite one. Jacob, in the story, uses his cleverness to get two important things from Esau: his blessing and his birthright. Do you know what those two things were? Those two things were really, really, really important. The birthright was the right to be considered the firstborn. And that was very important. Being the firstborn back then in the Hebrew families, it was very important. The firstborn son would inherit after their father would die. He would get everything, every single one of their dad's properties. He would also inherit the leadership of the whole family and the father's authority over everything, including all the members of the family. The firstborn was in charge of everything and would protect all his siblings. The blessing, I just remembered a movie. I'm sorry. The blessing, your parents know, was part of the firstborn rights, a very important part of it. It was a special blessing from the father, and you couldn't do it again. You couldn't undo a blessing to do a new one. This is very important in the story. The blessing would place the firstborn in a very special position in relationship with God. The blessing promised the firstborn protection from God. Protection from God. But let's talk about the video. After seeing, and again, if you have not watched the video, just put pause, stop this video right now, and go look for the one that says RLC's Kids Lesson 4 Video 1. Okay, that means that you should watch that video first. So, having watched the video, how do you think Jacob and Esau got along when they were growing up? I mean, seriously, they were always fighting. Jacob was kind of jealous of Esau. Their relationship was very, very bad, and they were rivals all the time. Remember, well, the thing is that Jacob didn't like being number 2, and that was very important. Remember what Jacob did to trick his father into believing that he was Esau? Do you remember that? What happened? Their mom, Jacob's mom, Rebecca, told him to put on a sheep covering because, if you remember, Jacob didn't have a lot of hair in his body like Esau. So Jacob would covered himself with the sheep clothing or the sheep wool because, do you know why? Do you know why he had to do that? Because obviously they look different. How come Isaac couldn't identify one from the other? Can you guess? Isaac, as he was getting older, he turned blind. He couldn't see good. He couldn't see well. So he couldn't identify both, even if they were very different from each other. But he knew how his son Esau would smell because he was hunting and he was outside all the time. So he would have a certain smell, if you know what I mean. So Jacob didn't have that same smell. They smell different. Can you tell how different your mom smells from your brother or your sister? I know. I can identify my mom's smell. And my mom, and wherever I go, I can identify that. So, I don't know. Maybe you know how your mom smells. And moms smell good. My grandma, I remember my grandma, her hands smelled like herbs and garlic. I mean, she was the one doing the cooking, so those hands smelled very yummy. But people have different smells. So Isaac could identify Esau by the smell instead of by looking at him, by the way he felt. So he had a little bit more of a rough skin and he had hair. So if Jacob would put the wool over him, that would mislead or disguise. He could disguise himself as Esau in front of Isaac, and Isaac wouldn't know the difference. So as Isaac was getting older and he was dying, he called for Esau so he could give him his blessing. Very important. And then Rebekah told Jacob, put this on and go there and make your father believe that you are Esau so you could get the blessing. Well, before that happened, one day, Jacob, because Jacob knew how to cook, he helped his mom. Jacob was cooking a very yummy stew. And Esau was tired of hunting and working the field, and he was very hungry. And he asked Jacob for food, and Jacob was very clever, and he said, you know what? I will give you a bowl if you give me your birthright in return. And Esau was so hungry that he said, okay, you can have my birthright, but give me a bowl of stew. So when Rebekah told Jacob to go and get the blessing, he did. And Jacob, thinking that he was Esau, gave him the special blessing. When Esau went to get the blessing, Isaac said, I gave the blessing to your son, to your brother Jacob. And he said, give me the blessing too. I want to be blessed too. And he said, no, only one can be blessed, and I cannot take that blessing away to give it to you. And Jacob had to run away. Esau he was very mad, very upset, very angry at Jacob. And Rebekah told Jacob that he had to go away and never return. So this story like ends in a very, very, very difficult situation. I mean, sometimes when we have siblings, we don't get along all the time. You know what I mean? I have two brothers, and sometimes when I was younger, I would fight with my brothers, not physically, but we would bicker and argue and get mad at each other, and sometimes some jealousy. But it wasn't like Jacob and Esau. Brothers are supposed to love each other, but not we're not perfect, and Jacob and Esau weren't perfect either, just like Isaac and Rebekah weren't perfect. But you know, we don't have to be jealous about people, because God made us perfect the way we are, and we have the gifts that we need. And like the animals, we can ask for help to maybe do things that alone we cannot do. Now we're gonna listen to the story. The story is called Deception. There's a sly little trick that happens real quick. A prank smooth and slick, a plot nice and thick. That sort of a trick made Jacob the pig. There's a bad-tempered twin, so determined to win, that a lie he did spin with a mischievous grin. That sort of a twin made his brother give in. There's a warm lentil stew that's delicious to chew. Yet when Esau got through, he did not have a clue that because of the stew, the old order was new. There's another mean trick played on father who's sick. Jacob's mother said, "Quick, or you won't be his pick. Steer the food with a stick. Give your father a lick." There's a sheepskin disguise that can fool Isaac's eyes. Jacob's terrible lies and his shocking surprise left him holding the prize, blessing wide as the skies. There's a father and son mad about what's been done. Tricky Jacob has won. There's a family undone. Esau's not number one. Now Jacob must run. But of course, we're gonna know more about this story the next time we have Bible school, Sunday school. So, about the story. What do you think Esau, did you notice, go and get your story. Did you notice, who had the number one badge? Why would you think Esau had that number one badge? Yes, exactly. Because he was the first one to be born. Number one. But then when he exchanged the right to be the firstborn for a bowl of stew, lentil stew. And then he gave the number one badge to Esau. See it here? See it here? Yeah. I mean, Jacob wasn't happy being second. Are you happy being second? I mean, I guess when I was a kid, I would my strength, my best quality was not being a runner. I have never been a runner. And every single time in school we would go into into races, and I would be like third or fourth. I wasn't even the second. And I guess I was okay with that. You know, I had other gifts that maybe the winner of the race didn't have. So everyone has gifts. God has given us gifts. But when it came to the blessing in the story, when Isaac gives Jacob the blessing, the father gives the son all the good things that God promises. But the thing is that God promises good things for all of us. All of us. Now, we're gonna do a project. For the project, you're gonna need crayons or markers, glue, scissors. Let me put Jacob and Esau aside. So this is the project. You're gonna open the project and you are going to cut along this blue line, just like I'm going to do, just to separate, because this is a two-part project. This is the first part. And the first part, we're gonna cut along this blue line that is all around the number 2 badge. We're gonna do this. After we cut, I want you to start thinking about unkind stuff that we can do that it's not good to do. It's not nice, it's not kind. Things that you have seen done maybe in school, maybe unkind things that you remember having done to one of your brothers or sisters, or maybe a friend was unkind to you. We are going to draw that scene in the center, in the middle here of badge number 2. Okay? Pastor is, one of my gifts is not cutting. It's not cutting, definitely. But we're gonna cut here. And you take your time cutting. I'm just hurrying a little bit for the sake of the video's length. Done. Cut it. Now I am going to draw something that I think it's unkind. Like, for example, I remember one time, let's see, when I fought with my brother and I hit him on the head. So I'm gonna draw myself here, long hair. But you draw whatever you remember or think it's unkind to do to another person. And I'm here. My brother is little. I mean, siblings, we should love each other. So I hit my brother and my brother is saying, ouch. Draw something that you think it's unkind and not nice to do to your sibling or to your friend. So that's gonna be on badge number 2. Now, what we are going to do, this other page has the blue ribbon. So if you want, you can color with your crayons or your markers the blue ribbon and then the red one. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna cut around the blue one. Around the blue one, like this. am not coloring my badges, but you have more time than I. So I encourage you that you do color yours. Okay, so they can look pretty. Now, after you cut and color the first place or the number one ribbon, you know what we're gonna do with this? Oh, wait, no, wow, I'm crazy. There is the letter love here. Don't throw it away. Cut it too. Cut each letter on the, over the blue line. So, like this, see? We have the L, we have the O, and we have the E, L-O-V-E. And with the glue, you're going to glue the letters that spell out love on the blue ribbon after you color it. So, because I'm not coloring it, I am gonna glue them now. After you color, you go ahead and you glue the letters over the number one or on. Oh, gee. See, pay attention when you do this. Okay, let me show you. L-O-V-E, love. And God gives us a number one badge, which means that He loves us. And God's love, really, God's love changes the unkind behaviors that we can have. So, therefore, we are going to glue ribbon number one, which is love, over, a little bit over the unkind